All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to In Real Time. We are your hosts, Jacob and Mitchell. It is officially the new year, and it's 2024 now. 2023 ended off with a bang. A lot of great movies, a lot of great different television series, and it's pretty much the middle of award season now. We already had the Golden Globes, of course, which was a very, very big awards show. And now the Oscar nominations were just announced a few days ago. And so there's a lot of buzz about this awards show coming up, which is on March 10th, of course. It's annually in March. A lot of people are excited for it this year. But there has been some uproar and some excitement over some categories. So today, the focus of this episode is to go over all the nominations for the 96th Annual Academy Awards. It's been a great year so far for film. 2023 was really, really strong. So
Incredible.
I think a lot of people are looking forward to the Oscars this year, in particular to see things like Oppenheimer and Barbie and all the other big films kind of win awards that like people think they should win. So from your perspective to start off, Jacob, how do you think that this year's Oscars is going to go? Do you think it's going to be a really big event? Do you think a lot of people are going to tune in, or do you think it's going to be like years past where some people are interested, some are not?
I don't know. I feel this year was very different for movies. Like the first really big year since COVID. I feel like a lot of people would agree with that. Um, I feel like a lot of casual viewers will tune in because I mean Oppenheimer grossed $1 billion. Like we got to remember that that was the highest grossing movie of the year. Your uncle, your dad, your grandpa, your dog, whoever you knew probably watched this movie. And with it getting the recognition, and people will be like, "Oh yeah, I actually watched that," because every year it's always they nominate movies that I didn't even watch, and
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like, no, you're just not going out to find them. But I think it'll help. And I feel like a lot of people have talked to me at least that would be like, "Yeah, I'm going to watch. It'll be fun." And I wouldn't expect them to. So I think it'll be a I don't think it'll be a huge spike, but it'll definitely pique some more people's interest than past years for sure.
I agree with that definitely. And I already feel like even when the nominations came out, like in years past, I don't know if it's just because I wasn't like in film school yet and I
Right.
was like the only one interested in film in high school, but like I was the only one that was excited on nomination day. And then this year I found out that like a lot of people were actually talking about it, which was surprising. I
Hmm.
can't tell whether or not it's because I'm surrounded by people in like college that are studying the
Right.
same thing or if people are actually just more genuinely interested this year. But overall, I think it's going to be an exciting award show. I can't wait for it personally. So yeah, I guess we'll just get right into the nominations. We are going off this list that the Academy Press Office so graciously provided for online use. So we're shout out to them, honestly. Thanks. So now we're gonna go down the list one by one, kind of go through each category, name the different nominees, give both of our thoughts and opinions on them, and just see overall what we think is going to take home the gold and what we think should take home the gold. So let's go off from the first category on the list, which is performance by an actor in a leading role, which is a best actor. So the choices in this category were Bradley Cooper in Maestro, Coleman Domingo in Rustin, Paul Giamatti in The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy in Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright in American Fiction. This category is stacked this year. I think Cillian Murphy is awesome here. I love seeing Paul Giamatti here. I don't think he gets enough respect in The Holdovers. At least when it first came out, I think he's starting to get more and more respect as award season goes on and people start to watch it. But like initially, I was like, oh man, he's not getting any hype behind it. But now I'm happy to see he's here. Jeffrey Wright also. I didn't really like love American Fiction, but I do think his performance in it was equally strong and deserves to be on this list. I haven't seen Rustin at all. I know it's on Netflix, just haven't gotten around to it. I definitely will before the awards show ends up in March. And I still have not seen Maestro, so I cannot talk about Bradley Cooper's performance at all. Again, I will get to it before the Oscars. But overall, I think who will win, I think it's going to be Cillian Murphy, definitely. I think it's his year. I think that's the performance here where um, definitely deserves it out of all the other nominees. I would love Giamatti to win. I would be fine with basically anyone else winning. They're all equally talented actors, but I think that it's Cillian Murphy's year. I think he will win and he should win. I do want to note, though, I know a lot of people have made a little bit of a ruckus over the fact that Leonardo DiCaprio is not here. So I'm curious to think or hear what you think, Jacob, about that quote unquote snub, whether you think it's a snub or not, and also what your
Yeah.
opinions are on this category overall.
Yeah. So, like you, I feel like this is a year that you perfectly summed it up. It's very stacked. There could have been five. There could have been different people put out, different people put in, everyone would have had a qualm at the end of the day because there's that many, in my opinion, that many great performances this year. Um, I like all the nominees. I haven't seen Rustin yet, but everything that I've heard is like the movie is fine. It's just Coleman Domingo, which is like totally valid. Like that's fine. That's sometimes that just happens. That's cool. But you know, Leonardo DiCaprio like not getting in. Like I'm a harp on this for a second. I'm a do it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
like yes, Lily Gladstone is incredible, and I think absolutely she deserves it and everything that she's getting. But it's the two of them needed for that movie as a whole. Like I'm not saying one's more important than the other, but if you're going to nominate her, I wouldn't say he was better because like she like out of this world. Like we'll get to that, but like he like out of the last 10 years, that was my performance of his in like quite a long time. To be honest, like it was so layered. It wasn't like flashy and like rah rah rah. Like you figured it out as it went along what kind of person he was. So that kind of sucks that he wasn't here. I would put him over Coleman Domingo, to be honest. Not trying to be that guy, but like, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And then also, I didn't know if Jeffrey Wright was going to get in or not, or Bradley Cooper, because I watched Maestro. It seemed everybody kind of turned on that movie like 2 weeks after it came out.
Yes. Yeah.
Because Venice, everybody loved it, or it was either Venice or Cannes. Everybody loved it there, and then it released, and everybody was like, "Did we watch the same thing?" I don't know. He was cool. But if I was in the Academy, and again, this is everybody's opinions, I would take out Bradley Cooper and I'd put in Andrew Scott from All the Strangers. That would be my five. But this five is totally valid and understandable. But I pick Cillian at the end of the day. But that's just I feel like every year there's people that should be in and shouldn't, and everybody's different opinions. But that would be my five overall, to say the least.
Yeah, it's interesting about Maestro because it premiered, I think, or it was like playing at New York Film Festival, which is when I first heard of it and like heard all the hype about it. And it was like this big thing. It was playing in like a concert hall and people were like really hyped about it. But now it's like almost like he's turned into this year's like Oscar villain. Every year award season has an Oscar villain, the person who like people turn on. I don't know. In this case, people are saying, I know you've seen Maestro. I obviously haven't, so I can't judge. People are saying like Bradley Cooper's performance is like good, but it's not like on the level of some of the other people who could have been on this list. So I don't know like what your thoughts on that are. It seems like, I don't know. I don't want to say Bradley Cooper's not talented. He doesn't deserve an Oscar.
Right.
But it's just like maybe he could have done a different role after this that would have been more awards friendly, because even from the start this thing got controversy attached to it. We're not going to go into all that, but it was a really big mess. People were hating on this movie before it even came out, which is why I think it's hurting honestly its awards chances, kind of, not only because of the negative word of mouth but also because of all that happened before it even released. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Cillian Murphy definitely is going to take it. I think it's his year. I think a lot of people are rallying behind him, so I'm interested to see how that turns out.
Yeah, it's just very interesting with the Bradley Cooper thing because like you said, it is a solid performance. Like it's not like it's bad, but it's so like not service level in the fact of his performance, but it's a very Wikipedia movie of his life, if you get what I'm saying. Like the conducting thing, yeah. Look, that 7 minutes, incredible. It's really good. Like I won't lie, that's probably what he put into the whole thing. But like he kind of was just like a smiley, happy man talking in like quotes and uplifting stuff all the time. So it was like fine. It's a pure Oscar bait movie, but like I just feel like people are riffing on him because he's trying too hard. Which like I won't get into that. I have opinions on that, but that's not a thing at all. But he did kind of get screwed over for Stars Born. I won't lie, in my opinion. But I just think that people think he's overdoing it a little, which is a valid point, but we'll see where that goes. Because I don't think, unless some random late February turnaround where he's like Andrew Riseborough's it, but it's whatever. But that's just where it is. It's just really like just one of those things that we have one every year that's like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. So now the next category is performance by an actor in a supporting role. Which is Best Supporting Actor. We have Sterling K. Brown in American Fiction, Robert De Niro, of course, in Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling in Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things.
Mhm.
So I'm going to be honest. I've seen every single film on this list except Poor Things. I've not seen that yet. Gonna see it before Oscar season. I know I have this giant like list to get to before Oscar season. Can't speak on his performance. Think it's cool that he's nominated though. I think it's cool that he's branching out outside of Marvel. And speaking of
Absolutely.
branching out outside of Marvel, I think Robert Downey Jr. is awesome in Oppenheimer. Would love to see him take home the gold here. I think I would be fine with Robert Downey Jr. or Robert De Niro winning. I think Robert De Niro's would kind of be more like a legacy win more than I think his performance. I think his performance was good in Killers. I don't think it's better than Robert Downey Jr. But I think either one of those, I think I could be fine with winning. I could see a case where Ryan Gosling takes it just because, in the off chance that the movie made like as much of as an impression on Academy voters as it did on the general public. But overall, I think deserving of the award. I don't think Ryan Gosling's performance like is up to par with Downey Jr. or De Niro. So I'd be fine with Downey Jr. or De Niro taking home this award. So what do you think, Jacob?
Oh yeah, I mean, I couldn't. I feel like that's everybody right now. I feel like it's RDJ's award to lose at this moment. I'd also like to give a rest in peace to my boy Charles Melton. We
Yeah.
had a great month run. Um, Sterling K. Brown's really good in American Fiction. I won't discredit that. I think he like as award season's gone along, people kind of realize what his character and like how he played it and like what the point of it was, and it's awesome because I won't lie. But man, I really because obviously they watched May December because we'll get to it because they nominated a screenplay, but they didn't give
Yeah.
it any acting nominations for the. I just that's what kind of blew my mind that none of them got nominated. But you know, well he'll be back. He showed it, but yeah, RDJ honestly like from the first moment he pops on screen in Oppenheimer, you're like, yeah, he's doing it. Like this is it. So hopefully he gets up there and gets to do a speech because I know that speech will be awesome on the night. So hopefully that's a win for him.
Yeah, I hear what you say about May December. I know that like a lot of people were rallying behind Charles Melton, even though I haven't seen that movie either. I'm excited to check it out, and I'm excited to see whether or not people like the people who think he got snubbed were right in their thinking or not. What from what I've heard, it's a very strong film. And there was also some uproar, not to get into it ahead of time, but in like I think it was one of the actors categories, people were like upset that Julianne Moore didn't get it or something for May December. I could see maybe she could be replaced
For
one of those.
supporting, yeah, maybe like
Yeah.
Jodie Foster. Um, we'll get into that. That's fine.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But speaking of actress, performance by an actress in the leading roles next. We have Annette Bening and Naiad. Did not know this movie existed.
It's not. It's so fine. It's like so average. It's such a. It's go ahead. It's fine.
And then we have Lily Gladstone, of course, in Killers of the Flower Moon. Sandra Holler from Anatomy of a Fall. Hooray. Carrie
Awesome.
Mulligan in Maestro. And
Fine.
then Emma Stone in Poor Things.
W.
Once again, I cannot talk about three of the movies on this
It's okay.
awards list. From what I've seen, though, it's between Gladstone and Stone, the two Stones,
The two stones.
battling it out together in this category. Probably would give it to Lily Gladstone, in my personal opinion,
Yeah.
just because I
Hopefully.
think that her performance there was so heartbreaking and tragic. Not to distract from Emma Stone's performance, because once again, haven't seen it. But also, I think that Lily Gladstone really imparted such an emotional portrayal of the character. I think she deserves to take it 100%.
Yeah. No. 100% agree. Absolutely. That's been my pick all year. The one little inkling in the back of my mind though, not that it really on. It's gonna sound weird when I say it, but like when Chadwick Boseman and Anthony Hopkins went up in 2021, it was like yeah, Chadwick, which is awesome. But then they gave it to the Hop Man, because it was
Yeah,
great. It's
yeah,
incredible, and I'm just wondering if because you haven't seen Poor Things, because it is like incredible. Like she like you could argue that she is better than Lily Gladstone just in the context of like what she's doing and what is it's for. So I wouldn't be surprised if Emma Stone won. Like if I'm sitting there and they say Emma Stone, I'm not going to be like shit. You know what I mean? But like I definitely could see that being a possibility that may cause some more problems. I would that would suck, but like yeah, and those are the main two for sure. Annette Bening and Naiad is literally just I don't get it. She's
yeah.
like Judy Dench, bro. She just appears. And Sandra Hüller, that's huge. We both loved Anatomy of a Fall,
Yep.
so that's awesome that she's there. But yeah, at the end of the day, hopefully it's Lily Gladstone, but I wouldn't be surprised with an Emma Stone pick either. Also, because it's just the Academy.
Yeah. I agree with that. I definitely think it's between those two. I would love Sandra Huller to take it, but it's a realistic awards world. She probably won't, just because I don't think that film in particular is campaigning enough for acting categories. I think it's campaigning more for screenplay
Yep.
and like picture. I don't think it's campaigning for acting. Probably could have swept it if Neon put together like a campaign behind that specifically, but I don't think it's strong enough for her to win,
Or like
unfortunately.
France actually like picked it as its
Yeah, that was
main.
crazy. And then Taste of Things didn't even get nominated for international feature. I
Oh,
don't
that's
think.
right, it didn't.
No.
That's so
So
right.
like,
I just saw that's playing at our local movie theater this week. So that should be
yeah.
interesting. That's
Yeah,
crazy though.
because here's the thing, we both hate about awards time. We live
Yes,
in a
sir.
like a medium-sized metropolitan area, both of
We
us.
say
And we
Southwest
get
Ohio, baby.
yep.
We love it.
And the problem is we see all these cool awards movies and we're like, "Oh, dope. Let's go watch them." And then we don't
Nope.
get them. And then we are finally starting to get some of them at like our local indie art house theater, but it's
Yeah.
like slow, like a few of them at a time.
We're
So
getting
like I
zone
don't know,
interest Friday. Like
we
as of
are.
recording this, February 2nd. I don't know when this one goes out, but February 2nd, as of recording this, is 2 days before February 2nd. We're finally getting the zone of interest after it's been playing in New York since the first week of December.
Yeah,
So it just sucks in a bay, but like we get to see them. They do get here. It just takes a minute.
eventually. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then speaking of actress, we're going straight to performance by an actress in a supporting role. We have Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks in The Color Purple, America Ferrera in Barbie, Jodie Foster in Nyad, and then Divine Joy Randolph in The Holdovers. It's Divine Joy Randolph's year. She's winning.
For
I
sure.
support that
For sure.
100%. Uh, I would have been fine with Emily Blunt winning also, but I think Divine Joy Randolph had the better performance overall. Um, People have opinions on America Ferrera one way or the other. I think she deserved to get nominated based on that one monologue alone. Other than that, I don't think that I just don't like remember her performance, and I think that's the one thing that stops me from saying like, "Oh, she deserves it." Is that I've seen Barbie like twice now, and
Yeah.
she is like the most, unfortunately, the most forgettable character outside of that one memorable scene.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
that's not
want to
even a
distract
bad
away.
thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't want to distract from her performance overall. I'm just saying when you're nominating people for awards, I would nominate people for awards that like they truly show mastery in that category every year. Unfortunately, while America Ferrera was great in the film, I don't think that the one monologue alone is kind of enough to nominate her on supporting actress for. Uh, but overall, I don't think it matters that much. Happy for the nomination, but I mean, Divine Joy Randolph's going to win anyway. I mean, I think everyone's expecting that at this point. What are your
yeah.
thoughts on the category, though?
Um, that this is like the one lock. Like we have one every year where a category is just locked, and I feel like that this is her year. Like there's
Yeah.
no there like not even to discredit any of the other women on this list because I some of the most of them that I've seen give great performances, but she's like on a whole nother level over a lot of these people. To be fair, um, with the America Ferrera thing, I'm gonna be real. I was sitting in my bed, 8 a.m. and her name popped up, and I literally screamed like what in my room. Nothing again, nothing at all against her, and her role and performance is great, but like this is one of those things that an Academy does where like no offense, she was not even in the conversation
She was not.
at all the whole year, and then boom, and then it's like okay, and then they followed it up with Jodie Foster, and I'm like okay, like so you just it's a weird mix of giving new like a couple of new people Oscars and then just giving the usual suspects also not. It's a really weird combination year because I don't know what narrative they're going with. So we'll see. But like I just some of these are very confusing.
That's what I feel about this
That's
category.
literally I just like I watched this live and I didn't have any reaction. I was just confused. I was like,
I
okay. I was
haven't
like,
even I haven't even seen The Color Purple either, so I can't talk about Danielle Brooks. But
they
I
took
thought
that
like
out 2 weeks. That only played at AMC for 2 weeks.
yeah, and then now it's like straight on digital, like for rent. But I'm
Which
not paying $20 to rent that because
right,
I've heard it's not that great. So I'm gonna wait until it's like a little bit later and then probably watch it. Who knows when that is
right.
or when that might be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's a solid category all around. I think Divine Joy Randolph's year is here. Definitely. So then next category is Best Animated Feature Film of the Year. We have The Boy and the Heron, directed by Hayao Miyazaki, Elemental, directed by Peter Sohn, Nimona, directed by Nick Bruno and Troy Kwan, Robot Dreams, directed by Pablo Berger, and then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. How
No
many
Wish.
films? No Wish.
No
Hooray!
Wish. No
Hooray!
Wish.
I
Um,
did. I saw Wish. I don't think you did.
nope.
Did you?
No, I
Okay.
saw I saw the last 10 minutes of it when cleaning theaters.
Oh, word. That's probably the best part. Yeah, I'm so happy they did not give it to Wish over like something like Robot Dreams or Nimona because Wish was terrible, and that was like my one fear going into this category. I'm like, please don't let it be Wish. But it wasn't. We chill there. Thank you, Academy. Shout out to you guys. That was awesome. And then nominating like Nimona and Robot Dreams. Did you
Huge.
see Nimona
Yeah,
at all?
I
You
liked
did?
it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too. I thought that was a really solid film. And then Robot Dreams, I've heard a lot out of. That played at
We
one of
haven't
the
gotten that yet.
festivals.
We're still
Yeah, we
waiting on
haven't gotten
that.
that either. But it did play at one of the major festivals. It got a lot of acclaim. Neon picked it up, but they're doing their like release strategy thing. Who knows if we'll even get it before March happens? Who knows? Um, I would have told you that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was going to win this category before I looked up Boy and the Heron and saw that A, it won the Golden Globe,
Won the Golden
and then
Globe.
B, it's winning a ton of different animation awards in like Film Critic Circle awards. That's an indicator that I think this is a year where you can't count on them giving it to one of the major like animation. I think they're going to go
Agreed.
more like indie art house this year. Finally, I have been saying for years, there's so many good foreign indie animated films, but they
Absolutely.
always choose like Disney or something like that. This year, I'm just happy that it's probably going to be either The Boy and the Heron or Spider Verse. I know Spider Verse is like a major animated movie, but it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like a Disney film where it's like generic and formulaic. It
Right.
feels like its own thing. In between the two, personal preference, probably Boy and the Heron for me. I love that film. I think that Hayao Miyazaki deserves the Oscar for this one. I thought it was phenomenal. But what do you think? What is your pick for this one?
Yeah, I'm also Boy and the Heron. If you would have told me 3 months ago, I would have said Spider Verse, like a
Yeah,
lot of people. But I watched Boy and the Heron, and it ended up being in my top 5 movies of last year. I was like, I love that movie. I could go on and on about that, but I'm not going to. But like, yeah, that would be my pick. Um, the thing with Spider Verse, which sucks, is that it only got this nomination, like which
yeah,
we'll get to. But like, if it got like sound and score and possibly editing, if they were cool, then I'd be like, yeah, you can give it a Boy and the Heron and then give it score. Because in my opinion, like Oppenheimer's great, but like I could easily be happy with it winning score, but they didn't do that. And I think they might do a Return of the King type deal for whatever the next one is,
yeah.
because they did the same thing with the first one that they're doing with this one, and I just think they're kind of waiting for it because it's going to be like just that and Dune, which is going to be
Yeah.
crazy. But I think Boy and the Heron at the end of the day, hopefully. But if Spider Verse wins, that'll be cool too. Like, there's not really a loser here for the top two that you would think they would pick.
Yeah. And then speaking of Spider Verse, I know there's been some discourse. People on Twitter have been saying, "Oh, it deserved Best Picture. It deserved Best Visual Effects." What is your opinion on that stance? For me personally, it's a great movie. I didn't
Yeah,
love it quite as
look,
much as people loved it. And
mm-hmm.
also, I think when people say nominate for Best Visual Effects, like I mean, that would be an easy award to give it because like the entire thing is one giant visual effect. But like, we'll get to that category. I don't think it belonged in either of those. I think animated feature is like its strongest bet, and maybe score, but we'll get to that as well eventually. What are your thoughts on like Best Picture like snub?
Yeah, look, in the early like July or August, I was thinking like for sure. Like, I was probably a little higher than it on you. I think like I really love that movie. I think it's arguably to me it's better than the first one in my opinion. So I was like, they didn't do it for the first one. Like it barely missed that 2018 year because that year was so whack. But that was the Green Book and all that year, so they just didn't do nothing. Um, so I was like, yeah, for sure. Like that's 9 or 10. Like at the end of the day, like that could get in a 9 or 10, and then like like three festivals happen like every year, and then you get like May December and Past Lives, like getting in off of one nomination, which is great. I'm not going to dispute that. But like at the point of Oscar nomination morning, no, I didn't think it should be in there. But at one point I did. But I don't agree with it right now, to say the least. For visual effects, that's such a tough argument. It really is. Because like, do you consider like what is at the end of the day visual effects just animation?
Pretty much.
Right.
That's like, yeah.
So like, are we going to count an animated movie for that? I don't know. If we do, give it to it. But if we don't, then don't. Because like, it's basically just like, honestly, best animator. It is in a way, but like I don't know. It's just one of those dingy rule things that I don't really necessarily get. Because I could totally be wrong and blanking, but I can't remember when an animated film got like purely animated movie got nominated for it
No. Yeah.
recently.
That's what my thoughts are kind of. Um but yeah, that's kind of what my opinions are on that category. Again, I love all the nominees, of course. I think they went a really, really vast spectrum of different films this year, which is happy to see. And also, I'm happy they did nominate Wish. Shout out.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, let's move on to the next category, which is achievement in cinematography. Some very interesting picks here. We have El Conde. Um, we have Killers of the Flower Moon. We have Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things.
yeah,
Um, Oppenheimer, for me, gonna take it probably. Hoyt Van Hoytema is awesome. He's legendary at what he does. Also, the whole like IMAX film phenomena, like it.
yeah.
I don't know. I think it's gonna take it. El Conde is a choice. I don't know if you've heard of this movie
No, I
at
have.
all.
It premiered at
I
was it Cannes or
think it was,
Venice?
yeah,
It's the
Venice. I think,
vampire. It's the vampire dictator movie, all shot in black and white. So that's why they nominated.
yeah.
Because it's pretty.
It was also Pablo Larraín who directed Spencer, I think, and also Jackie that made that one. So that's why I was like interested in that one. I was like, huh, he
I
made
thought he
another
was filming
movie.
that one with Angelina Jolie about the opera lady to finish this trilogy of women or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Maria.
I do not know. I've
Oh
never
yeah,
heard of
you can
that.
look that up. I swear to God, I thought that's what he was doing, but that's cool.
Yeah, this one kind of just like showed up on Netflix randomly, and
Oh,
I
it's
was
on
like,
Netflix.
yeah, I was like,
Oh,
okay. So then I was like looking into it more, and I'm just like, odd
I,
premise for movie, and then like the review spectrum on like Letterboxd is like all over the place,
oh, is it
and I
like
was
a?
like,
I love when
yeah,
movies are
it's like
like
a,
this, though. I love
yeah.
that.
I
That's
was
awesome.
like, okay, but I mean, black and white cinematography, cool. I don't know what your thoughts are on the category as a whole. I think Oppenheimer's going to take it.
Yeah. Um, Past Lives should be in here. No cap. Let's be honest. I also think you could argue that All the Strangers could get put in over Maestro. That's another one where it's like black and white, pretty. Because that's literally I hate that because like there's black and white and then there's black and white done like correctly. So like in my opinion, like black and white Maestro is fine, but then there's like black and white in Dunkirk. You know what I mean? So like just because it's black and white doesn't mean it's like he reinvented the wheel. Like he didn't have to film this in black and white. So like I don't know. I hate every year they either go 5 for 5 in this and like pick like all the right people, or they go like 2 for 5. And this year I feel like they went 2 or 3 for 5. But Oppenheimer absolutely because they had to make new IMAX film just to film it. So that's innovation. Like that's what its cinematography is. So like W should win.
I agree. I also think like you can make a case for maybe Poor Things, just because
Oh,
of
he loves
like
that fisheye
the
lens. I know you haven't
fisheye.
seen it.
I've
Yeah,
seen the trailers, and that was
it's a
like the most.
lot.
Yeah, man, I did not understand that, but I know a lot of people love fisheye stuff and like that movie in general, and like they like how like artistically inclined it is. So maybe it could sneak in, but I think Oppenheimer's probably going to take it, just because of how much effort went into that. And then we have achievement in costume design. Next, we have Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, which is a choice, Oppenheimer, and then Poor Things.
Yeah,
Uh, I think either based on what I've
it's got to be
seen out of
Barbie,
promotional
right?
stills, either Barbie or Poor Things.
I think it's got to be Barbie.
Yeah,
They got to give it something. There's so many damn outfits in the movie. It's wild. Like no cap.
yeah,
Like literally that one scene alone where they're on the beach fighting, and then they transition to the dance scene where they wear like 5 different out. Like I don't know. And they all look great too. Like Poor Things, yeah, steampunk period piece. It's a given. I feel like that's why Napoleon's there because like yeah, 15th century France, you can make some baller looking outfits. It's cool. But no, I think Barbie for sure. This and like makeup, unless Maestro's like weird, but like yeah, those are the two Barbie awards. Like, and I'm not trying to be that guy, like because it didn't get We'll get to that. What it didn't get nominated. Oh, we didn't talk about that in actress.
We haven't. No.
Yeah, but like I guess you can start here. Like Margot Robbie not getting an actress, it kind of makes like the Academy like, we liked your movie, but we didn't love your movie, so we're going to give you tax, and I think that's what's going to happen. So
I agree with that. I think, yeah, poor things for Barbie. I think the edge goes to Barbie. I think it's funny that this is like Napoleon's only nomination.
it got a didn't get visual effects. I swear to God, it did.
No, it did not. Wait, did it
didn't?
actually?
I swear to
no,
God.
it did. It did.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't know
wild.
if you saw. Did you see Napoleon?
I watched the first hour of it and I turned it off.
Word. Okay. I watched the entire thing, and it was
God
one of the
bless
most
you.
miserable experiences of my life.
I believe it.
So I think that's funny. I don't even remember the costume design, to be honest with you. I did not think it was that memorable, but the Academy nominated it because I think they needed to fill another space. So like, I'm not going to argue. I think it's a perfectly acceptable nomination, I guess.
Holdovers, bro.
Oh yeah. See,
Come
that's
on.
the problem. Like, I think of all, like, I say, oh yeah, there's like, it was just to fill a space, but then when I'm thinking, it's like, oh
holdovers.
wait, this movie could have done that. But
Holdovers
at the end of the
costumes are
day,
good.
yeah, at the end of the day, as long as it doesn't like win the award, I'm not going to be too mad about it being nominated. If it actually somehow like won an award while like being like a random nomination, I would actually like throw something across the room.
Absolutely.
But Barbie's going to take it 100%, and I'm happy about that because I think it kind of deserves that. I think it was a really vibrant movie in that regard.
Yeah.
And then speaking of Barbie, next category, very, very a lot of discourse around this one. Achievement in directing. Anatomy of a Fall, Justine Triet, Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese, Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan, Poor Things, Yorgos Lanthimos, and The Zone of Interest, Jonathan Glazer. Zone of Interest for me was a very big surprise in this one. Everything else kind of, I mean, I guess you could term Anatomy of a Fall as a surprise. It was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
But Zone of Interest is one that I was not expecting. I was expecting full stop Greta Gerwig, and I was like actually kind of surprised when they didn't. There's a lot of discourse about this snub, I guess you could call it. I always say snub in quotation marks because everything's subjective.
Right.
For me personally, I think that I haven't seen Zone of Interest, but looking at the rest of this list, I could not argue her being removed for anyone else on this list. And then like once I see Zone of Interest, I might like change my mind on that and might think that Glazer deserves it. But like for now, everyone else, you could not replace them with Greta Gerwig. You just couldn't, because then you would be lying to yourself about an actual achievement in directing. Justine Triet on Anatomy of a Fall is like expertly directed.
Yes.
And I think that like that deserves it. And so when people on Twitter that are like pro Barbie were like, Anatomy of a Fall, remove that. I'm like, bro, there's no way you just said that.
Right. And like, my thing is like, look, at the end of the day, I love Greta. This is what we're about to talk. Like, for me at least, I have nothing against this woman. I think she does great stuff. Incredible. Yeah. But when I think about Barbie, and this is not to her like detriment or like me trying to make people mad, I don't think, wow, she directed the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not, and I'm not making that like trying to say that in a mean way. It's just like, it's at the end of the day, it's a very simple movie that was made for younger audiences to help understand heavy topics.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a very simple movie, and like, yeah, you can nominate simple movies. I'm not saying like just because it's simple and done well doesn't mean Anatomy of a Fall deserves because it's more heavy and handed. But just like you said, like this is, in my opinion, this is the perfect five. Like I didn't even expect that this would happen. Like I didn't even want to believe that it could to be disappointed. But like I was like, that's the best in my opinion, this is the best category of nominations in any besides Best Picture, like going 10 for 10 basically in my opinion. But like, and I haven't even seen the Zone of Interest yet, and I hate to be that guy that like just assumes I'm going to love it, but like no one and their mother that I've talked to has been like, it's awful. Like everybody's like, yeah, this is the best movie to come out in the past like 5 years. Like, so like, I'm sorry to the people, and I understand your qualms, but like watch more movies. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Really, like at the end of the day, like watch more movies because then, like, not that you'd understand, but you get more of an insight. Is where I'm trying to come from, at least.
I agree with that. I think that the 5 is perfect. I think
Yeah.
that like it's the best case scenario, and I'm happy with it. So now the next category is one that is best documentary feature film. Depending on who you ask, this is either a really important category or one that no one pays attention to.
This was rough for me.
Depending on the year. This year we had Bobby Wine, The People's President, The Eternal Memory, Four Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, and 20 Days in Maripol. 20 Days of Maripol played at Sundance. I remember that one distinctly, like was on like the list last year.
Yeah.
Was surprised to see it here. Other than that, I have not seen that either. In fact, I have not seen any of these. I've heard of Eternal Memory and Four Daughters, which were both film independent memories. So we got a screener of Four Daughters as part of our Spirit Awards voting, but I just have not watched that yet. But I'm like kind of shocked that they didn't put like still a Michael J. Fox movie in here.
Where's
honestly,
Beyond Utopia?
Oh yeah, that's
like,
right.
where
that
is
one too.
that?
Yeah.
Like, I swear they don't watch. Like, they do this every year. Like, they don't like what the people, we the people think is like the top documentary. They never nominate.
Yeah.
Like, and it makes me so mad. Like, even arguably like Still should absolutely be in here.
Yeah.
Like, you could argue that it's like half of it's not a documentary if you want to be that guy, but like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Like, they do this. It just sucks. Like, 20 Days of Miracle, I got to watch, which is awesome. Was it Four Daughters we got on?
Yeah,
Spirit,
we got
right?
that.
I
Yeah.
started that. I didn't get to finish it. Not that it was bad. It was just late.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because like To Kill a Tiger, I had not heard of, and Bobby Wine, I had not heard of.
Me neither.
The other day. So
yeah, I know
it's just
Bobby
one of
Wine's
those
on
things.
Bobby Wine's on Disney Plus, I think, and it's like a Nat Geo thing. But other than that, I know nothing about it.
Where's like
So.
Planet Earth 2?
True.
Like, come on. I'm kidding. That'd be cool though. But yeah, they do this like it's like this every year. So hopefully, I mean, honestly, it'll probably be 20 Days of Miracle would be my pick.
Probably, yeah. That's probably what I'm going to pick, having not seen any of these. But yeah, it's not like one of those categories this year where I'm like, oh yeah, I would like rally behind one. Like there's been years past where I've loved documentaries. Like I've rallied behind a few in the past. Like when Flea was nominated, I thought that was awesome, and I was like rallying behind that one.
They never nominated
like,
Boys State. That was so sad.
No, they didn't. But this year's not like one where I'm actually like caring about one of these winning. I would be fine with any of them, and that's kind of like how I'm feeling with the next category, which is best documentary short film. Not seen any of these either. ABC's A Book Banning, Barber of Little Rock, Island in Between, The Last Repair Shop, and Nai Nai and WAPO.
I've heard it's supposed to be The Last Repair Shop. From what I've read, is like the consensus is like apparently that's the one. But again, I haven't seen it. But
me neither.
What can you do with the shorts categories? Because you can literally never find them to watch anywhere.
It depends. You can find some of them on YouTube or Vimeo, but other than that, like it's like really selective. So maybe I'll watch one or two of them for March. Probably pretty unlikely, but cool on them for being nominated. It's a huge achievement. So yeah, congrats.
For sure.
Then we have achievement in film editing. We have Anatomy of a Fall, Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, or Poor Things.
Yeah.
Editing for me, honestly, is not something I consciously pay attention to in film unless it's like overt.
Yeah.
So looking at this list, I could not tell you what's gonna win.
I
want to say something
Killers.
like Killers. Yeah, just because Thelma Schoonmaker is like really prolific, and I love her work.
Like that, I don't know. To you, we talked about it. That movie doesn't feel like 3.5 hours.
It does not. No,
it's edited literally like perfectly to a crisp. Like in my opinion, like that's it. That's the example of editing, like perfect editing. Even Oppenheimer, to a degree. It's kind of the same.
Kind of, yeah.
But Killers more for me.
I would love to see Killers at least take this one, if not anything else, because I think Oppenheimer's kind of like going to take most other things when it's like nominated in the same category.
Yeah.
Then with that, we have the best international feature film of the year. No, The Taste of Things. No, Anatomy of a Fall. We have Lo Capitano from Italy. Perfect Days from Japan. Yeah. Society of the Snow from Spain. Teacher's Lounge from Germany, and then The Zone of Interest from United Kingdom. I've heard it's probably going to be Zone of Interest or Perfect Days.
Yeah.
I think Perfect Days is the edge probably because that's been campaigned like crazy, and I've heard about that just like intensely.
Yeah, we're
Or I
finally
could see
getting
it
that
getting,
too.
yeah, I could also see it getting given to Zone of Interest just because like subject matter, and also a lot of people are seeing it now and getting behind it and loving it.
Yeah.
So I'll be fine with either of those two. I saw that like Society of the Snow is on like Netflix. I haven't watched it yet, and then Teachers Lounge is like non-existent. Like I can't
Apparently,
find it
it's
anywhere.
incredible.
Yeah,
When I went, when I went and saw Origin Friday, that trailer played in front of it. So I guess we're getting it at
maybe.
some point
Yeah,
because I don't even. The plot looks interesting from what I gather it is because
yeah,
they didn't subtitle they subtitled the trailer, but I didn't really get much out of it. But it seems very good,
yeah,
and every single festival review I've wrote that it's gone to has been like, yeah, like this is some good stuff. So hopefully it
yeah.
plays well.
I agree with that. Um, Achievement in makeup and hairstyling's next. We have
Yes,
Golda.
this was wild, but it got
Yeah,
nominated at the guild, the makeup guild. So
that kind of
awesome.
makes sense, I guess. Then we have Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Society of the Snow.
Oh, that's
I could
cool.
see
I forgot
probably.
about that.
I haven't seen it, but Poor Things maybe. Who knows? Barbie not here is like crazy to me,
That's
kind
what I
of.
thought. That's so bad. I forgot that
Yeah,
Barbie wasn't here and Society of the Snow was.
that's kind of like crazy because I would have said like Barbie was the lock for this one easily, but now I'm just like I don't
Look,
know. I don't know.
look, not to like be that guy to give it more, but like Oppenheimer,
Maybe I don't know.
he looked 20.
Yeah,
He looked so great, and like all the like, I mean, let's be real, we didn't realize that was freaking Gary Oldman. It took me like 5 minutes to
true.
realize that was Gary Oldman,
Yeah,
and like I don't know, but Maestro maybe that's a maybe, just because his face is actually like insanely
yeah,
well aged and progressed. His makeup's very good. So
yeah. I'd be fine. I don't know. I don't have like an opinion one way or the
well,
other on this
Golda,
category. um, yeah, maybe give it to Golda. Who knows? I
oh
don't
here
think
we
anyone
go.
I've like met has even like seen that movie or
Right,
even like heard of it before. But yeah, anything winning here would be fine. There's nothing on
originals.
here I would say like please no. Um, but I know the next category has one selection that no one wants to win, which is achievement and original score. American Fiction, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. I think we know Oppenheimer's taking it easily.
Yeah,
The
now.
score is incredible, but people were mad that Indiana Jones got in over Spider Verse. I love Daniel Pemberton. I think he's awesome in
Yeah,
every single
he's
movie I've seen the
great.
score in.
He's great.
Um, Even if he was nominated, I think it still would have gone to Oppenheimer, but I
It
would
might.
have loved to see him nominated, and that would have been awesome. But they just gave it to John Williams because he's like a
They,
legacy.
yeah, they need to. They okay. They need to stop like dead ass because like every single time, whether it be Star Wars, whether it be Indiana Jones, whatever he does, he automatically gets nominated. Like he got nominated for Rise of Skywalker. That's literally just the original score, and he updated with like modern beats. And I'm like, what? Like, and like, look, this is one of those things again where Disney owns ABC, right? Who hosts the Oscars, Mitchell? ABC. And every single year they do some part of my French, some shit like this, or they'll extra promote just Disney movies besides the Best Picture noms. They do that every year, and it makes me mad. So, like, again, John Williams is a goat. No denying. He's incredible. But, like, he's not going to win, so don't put him up there. I hate to do that. But, like, no one. Like, if he does, I lose all hope and faith in the music branch. But it's okay. My rant's over. I just hate that they do that. They do it every year, and I just don't get it.
I
It's
get
a whole
that, and like I don't know, music's such a difficult like thing to predict at the Oscars every year. Sometimes, especially original song, which is the
which
next
is
category,
wild.
which is some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen nominated
Flaming
before.
hot, bro.
Yeah, The Fire Inside from Flaming Hot,
The
I'm
Oscar
Just Ken from
nominated film
Barbie.
Flamin' Hot.
Exactly. I actually forgot about that. Like reading through these nominations, the fact that Flamin' Hot is like actually nominated for an Oscar, like
It's the
one
same
Oscar.
same amount as May December.
That's crazy. Then we have American Symphony. It Never Went Away. Never
That
heard
one.
of this movie actually. But I know it's like a documentary about music, so like I guess
Oh,
that
it's
makes
John
sense.
Baptiste.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah, that
yeah,
makes
it's that
sense.
yeah,
Then we have A Song for My People from Killers of the Flower
which is
Moon, which is
awesome. I
awesome.
didn't even think that was gonna get in.
Yeah, me neither. And then What Was I Made For from Barbie. Right off the bat, I'm kind of disappointed they didn't nominate This Is the Thanks I Get, which is the hit Chris Pine song from the hit film Wish. I'm just gonna say.
Why wasn't
I'm
she
joking, of
there?
course. I'm just joking, of course. But if you're gonna nominate Flamin' Hot, like who knows why? Like
Well,
I don't
like
know.
this is turned. Also, another thing with the music, this is turned into the Billie Eilish award.
True. Because she's gonna take this one. She's
She's
gonna
it's
take What
gonna
Was I Made
be her.
For.
It's either her third or her second Oscar already. Because
Yeah.
she won it for No Time to Die,
Yeah.
and then I
Which is
swore
like
she wore another one between this and Barbie, but I could be
maybe she
wrong.
did.
If not, then she already has two. Billie Eilish, two. Unless they make Ryan Gosling get up there and be like, thanks. Thank you. I have to perform this. That's gonna be sick. That's gonna be insane.
Because I don't think Ryan Gosling wants to perform this song at an
But
award
he's gonna
show. He
have
hates
to.
it so bad, but he's gonna have to, and it's gonna be
Gonna have
hilarious.
to.
But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. It's gonna be Billie Eilish's award again.
Yeah.
Not complaining because I like Billie Eilish, but also
Yeah.
like,
But
yeah,
like, give me some variation.
yeah. And then the big category is next: Best Picture of the Year. American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. I feel like you
Perfect.
can
Yeah.
just like kind of talk about the same like strengths of each film in every category. I think it's been over it. The fact it's cool that a lot of these are nominated. I think it's cool that Past Lives was nominated, Anatomy of a Fall was nominated, which is awesome. Holdovers was nominated, which is awesome. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to go to Oppenheimer. I think it's a tier. I think it's going to get
Yeah.
nominated. I think it's going to win it.
There really isn't a discussion, to be honest.
No.
It is the perfect 10, though. Like, in a first time in a long time, I haven't been, like, pissed that something was in there that
Even at
shouldn't
Maestro?
be.
Even at Maestro?
Look. Like, okay, maybe, but, like, what would you, like, May, December? Okay, hear me out. Let's put Air in there.
True. Actually, that was campaigned. I forgot about that movie
Like,
entirely.
Air over Maestro. It's fine with me. But, like, look,
Yeah.
honestly, like, at the end of the day, like, none of these movies were, like, bad. Like, obviously they shouldn't
No,
be, but,
yeah.
like, some years you're like, how did that get picked?
At Belfast.
At Belfast, at Green Book, at no offense, at Coda. No
True.
offense. But, yeah, so, like, it's Oppenheimer's war to lose. If they pull a Green Book shit, I feel like people are never going to tune into the Oscars again.
Yeah.
If Barbie won this award, I'd actually like break inside. No offense.
True. I like Barbie.
Yeah, I like Barbie a lot.
It's
but,
not
like,
Best Picture worthy.
It's not. Like, there are some on here. Like, if the Zone of Interest one,
I think they're saving
or
that
Anatomy
for
of
Best
a
International Feature.
or
honestly.
like if Anatomy of a Fall has that late surge that we've been seeing the past couple weeks, would be cool. Again,
yeah,
we talked at the beginning how everyone has their possibilities, but like, it's the op man, and he's getting at least 10 Oscars. I'm assuming.
yeah.
I feel like because it's nominated for 13, at least 10.
I agree with that. I think Oppenheimer's going to win. I think a lot of the picks here are solid, but at the end of the day, they're not going to compete, and
Right.
they probably can't compete. But yeah, the next category is achievement in production design. We have Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, again,
Got three Oscar nominations.
Oppenheimer, and Poor Things.
Where is Asteroid City?
True. I wish it was nominated
Why
so
don't
bad. I loved Asteroid
what
City.
What happened with him in the Academy that I would love to know?
I mean, yeah,
I don't
he did get
get
nominated. He
Grand
did get
Budapest
nominated
had
this
like
year.
11,
Oh, it did.
and then it just
Yeah.
And then he got Henry Sugar, which will probably win short because that's the only short I watched.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I don't really understand them. But like, these are all great. Not gonna lie. At the end of the day, even Napoleon was bad. It was still looked cool.
Yeah. I
But
agree with that.
I can't really think of anything else really to put in here. To be honest with you, maybe the zone of interest. I haven't seen it, but like it is. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like these are the five. To be honest, like I really realistically cannot think of anything else to put in
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that it's pretty clear that it's either Barbie or Poor Things at this point. Both had phenomenal
here. Is
production design
Oppenheimer
from
here? Yeah,
yeah, it is. I don't know. I think Barbie production design was like
they're gonna be like Big Bomb.
astounding. Yeah.
Big Bomb, really cool.
And from what I've seen on Poor Things, it's like really impressive like set design and all that.
It
So I
is.
think one of those two. I think Barbie's probably going to sweep this one again.
Yeah,
Again, I don't think Poor Things A has the narrative to get tech awards, and B, I don't think it's Academy friendly enough. I
it did get
think it's
it got nominated 11 times.
it got nominated, yeah. I don't think it's like a big enough movie or
That's
like a
true.
friendly enough movie to like win like
Right,
a lot.
right.
Just because it's such a like graphic movie,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Academy does not like graphic movies. If Babylon was any example of that, but that's a different tangent for another time. I think Barbie or Poor Things is going to take this
Yeah,
easily,
absolutely.
pretty much. And then Best Animated Short Film is next. I have not seen any of these.
Good luck,
Letter to a
y'all.
Pig, 95 Sentences, Our Uniform, Pachyderm, and War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko.
Oh,
Uh,
that's kind of cool.
yeah, props to everyone nominated.
Good
No
luck.
offense, haven't seen any of this.
Yep, good
Like,
luck.
yeah. Same with Best Live Action Short Film, the next category. I've seen one of these: The
Correct.
After, Invincible, Night of Fortress, Red, White, and Blue, and of course Wes Anderson's The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. I hope that wins. I hope because like it was such a good short film. I loved
Oh
every
yeah,
moment of that, and I think it deserves it 100%. As you
absolutely.
mentioned, there seems to be some like weird beef between him and the Academy, where he's just does not get nominated for like the most like clear awards possible. So I'm just kind of like
Okay.
maybe, maybe not. But I hope he wins. He might honestly win because like I
He
know like some of
should.
these are big, but like no one here other than Wes Anderson is on the same level of like big as Wes Anderson. Like I don't
No.
know, like Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, like Benedict Cumberbatch, Dev Patel attached, and a bunch of other big
Yeah,
stars.
and
Like
they
I don't
always give
know.
it to the short that have famous people in it.
True. So like I think that's the angle they're going for this year, which is kind of dope. And I'm not arguing about that because I
Agreed.
loved Henry Sugar. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
it was awesome.
Yeah. Achievement in Sound, interesting category. Creator is an Oscar-nominated film, which is cool. I have not seen it. It's on Hulu. I keep trying to get around to it, but I'm just like every time I want to watch a
I
movie,
can never
I'm
finish
like,
it.
I'm like, I don't want to start the creator. Maestro, of course, because it's music themed, and the Academy goes music equals sound, of course. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, which is cool
First
because I
nomination
thought that,
ever.
yeah, I thought that was dope. Oppenheimer, kind
Yeah,
of cool. Zone of Interest is awesome because all I've heard about that film is the expertly directed sound design. I think
yeah,
it'll take that honestly because
I
like the
agree.
sound design I've heard plays such an important role in that movie. So no surprise there. Again, a lot of these like tech categories are like easy to like guess,
Yeah,
except visual effects, which is the next category,
Godzilla.
which is crazy. Creator, two-time Academy Award
Two-time
nominated
Academy,
film.
more Academy Awards than May December.
True. Godzilla's dope. I love
Woo!
Godzilla
It
here.
got in. I
-1.
didn't know if it
Yeah.
would or not, so that's cool.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is interesting because like it's one of those movies where I'm thinking back and I'm like I would never expected it, but like in the moment when I was watching it back in like May, I was thinking to myself like before award season even remotely started, I'm like, oh, this would be cool for like visual effects, and
That
I
should be
never
a,
thought it would actually like happen.
that should be a makeup.
That's true.
They had like
Well, they're
three.
probably
They had
nominating
like
it
the
for
most
like
prosthetic ever on a movie used.
well, they're probably nominating it for like the animal
Right.
things.
Right.
But other than that, we have Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning and Napoleon. Um, Napoleon had visual effects somehow. But when you put Napoleon in the same category as like Godzilla and like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's
It
like,
should be Godzilla.
yeah,
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, put Takashi up there. He's become a celebrity within the past like month. Like he toured Star Wars. He's getting a movie. That's sick. He's getting a Star Wars movie. So like, I don't know. Also, I just Godzilla was like such an awesome surprise too. Did you watch it or no? Oh yeah, okay. It was a great surprise. For how great it was, and it finally figured out how to balance like human people. So that worked out. But yeah, Godzilla will be my pick here. It could also be yeah, no, yeah, that's it. No second place for me. That's
Yeah.
just Godzilla.
I would give it to Godzilla too, not because like I've actually seen the movie and think it deserves it, but I also just think that like I mean it would be cool to see it win, especially for like an international film like that made on like a little bit of like the budget of most of these other films.
15 mil.
Yeah, which is pretty dope. So I would love to see that win. The last two categories are both screenplay categories. One's adapted, which had American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest
Where's
attached to it.
Killers of the Flower Moon?
Yeah, that's my thought with this. I love American Fiction screenplay, don't get me wrong, but like Killers.
I would. This is going to sound like heinous, and I'll say it. No offense. Barbie's was fine.
Yeah. I kind of was thinking that
Like
too.
that's not a Noah Baumbach script. That's a Greta Gerwig script.
It's true.
Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to the simplicity of things, which is not bad at all. It's just like it's like Killers is like my argument is that like it's the best written movie of the year. Like, and I feel like people don't. I feel like when people think screenplay, they're just like dialogue, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not just dialogue. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many like that whole narration, and there's so much state. I don't know. You go on a whole thing about this, but like, it sucks, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I think Oppenheimer's going to take it, honestly, just because
Yeah.
the script was so interesting and like how it was formatted was awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that. I'm fine with that. But yeah, I mean, where's Killers? They could
Where
have
is he?
nominated Killers. Like, where is it? But original screenplay has a lot that I actually like here. Anatomy of a Fall is awesome. The
Great.
Holdovers is awesome. Maestro, May December, and Past Lives, which is awesome. I
How
love
is
Past Lives
Maestro
so
not
much.
adapted? Can someone explain the damn rules to me? Because if Barbie's adapted and it's based off something that exists, because that was their argument, correct?
Yeah,
That's the same damn thing as Leonard Bernstein.
true.
Like you literally
yeah.
just like yeah, it's not based off a book. I get that, but Barbie's based off of a freaking toy. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Check your rules. Check your rules. That's all I'm saying. Because Maestro could be put in adapted, and it wouldn't even be nominated, and Killers would have gotten one, probably. So
It's true.
it's whatever.
I would go probably Anatomy of
Anatomy
the
of a
Fall.
Fall.
I'm going to be honest. I just think that deserves to win and it should win.
Yeah.
And it probably will win just because I think that's what they're going to give the film. Because I think the film's going to walk away with at least one award probably. And I think it's going to be this one, if anything.
Yeah.
I think it's the strongest chance of it winning. And I would love for that to happen because it was like one of my favorite films of last year by far. But yeah, there's just so many good picks. Like Holdovers is good. Past Lives is good. But I think Anatomy is like on a different level entirely. So I'd be fine with that winning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that is it for the 2024 Oscar nominations. Crazy year for the 96 Oscars. Again, it's going
Jimmy
to air
Kimmel.
live on March 10th, hosted by Jimmy Kimmel on ABC. The question is, will you be watching live?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a holiday for me.
Yeah.
I take off work.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
awesome.
I try, like the last few years I've tried to watch it live, but like I always have like trips planned. Like last year I was in New York for it, which was dope.
That was cool.
But then
yeah,
this year I'm gonna be in the middle of like Nevada. So that's gonna be weird for me to try to fit in the Oscars during that time. But
watching with a group has become fun.
yeah, I wish I could do that. I wish people were actually like interested in the Oscars. That I knew of, like, but
Right.
people don't like the award show. They just like the awards. They just want to see what wins. And like when something they like wins, they're like, oh my gosh, it's awesome. And when something they like doesn't win, they get all defensive about it. So that's like the extent of like people I know's Oscar knowledge. Again, it's like subjective, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna catch up with like all the winners, and we'll see what wins. It's gonna be interesting to see by far.
Yeah,
Because I think they vote through. It says on here February 27th, so that's still a long way away.
that's what
So
I'm saying. Those
yeah,
middle February pushes are
yeah,
deadly.
they are
Deadly.
for sure.